Hi, it's Michael. The subject of this talk is bullying, whether it's physical or emotional bullying, and whether it's in school, whether it's at workplace, at home, wherever it may be, or whether it happened in the past or whether it's still ongoing. That's what this talk is about. At the physical level, bullying can make life experientially hell for the person being bullied, and also for the person administering the bullying, for the bully, even though in different ways. And this has been experienced in this lifetime subjectively, being bullied in school. So if your wish, if you were bullied in the past, or if you are still being bullied in some way, if your wish is to understand it better, to transcend it, to get beyond it, and even to stop it, then please listen very attentively, very carefully. So the first step in stopping bullying is your willingness to let go of all the drama, to surrender all the drama, to let go of it. Now, the human ego, as has been revealed by spiritual teachers, and as is obvious just by pure observation, the human ego enjoys drama, even when it means its own suffering or even destruction. So the first step is complete willingness to surrender all the drama involved in it, no matter what. That's the first step. Now the second step is the acceptance that there is really no victim and perpetrator in it, and this will be explained more, a little bit more, that if you are or were being bullied, you have contributed to it yourself. Now, bullying is a consequence of one's own personal choices and actions, either in the past or in the present. So everything that occurs, can be said, has the why and how. So the why of the bullying is either a karmic debt, so-called, which means experiencing the consequences of past actions. So for example, in the past you were mean to other people, you were beating other people, so now you are experiencing the consequences of it, you are experiencing it yourself. As Dr. David Hawkins said, you are experiencing the 180 degrees of what you did to others in the past. So that's a karmic consequence. Now, it can be also, it may not, the why may not be from the past, it may be from the current time. Subconsciously or unconsciously, you may be provoking others, or even consciously, you may be provoking other people wittingly or unwittingly, or there may be something in your universe, in you, around you, that is provoking others, and that can be as the major contributor to why you are being or were being bullied. So that is the why. Now the how is what helps as the conduit of the action of the bullying. So it can be physical weakness, physical handicap, funny name, stammering, or something that can be viewed as a defect that others can pick on and use it to attack. That's the how. That's not the why. Okay, that is important. There are no excuses. Oh, they were beating me because I was too weak, too fragile, and I cried easily when they beat me. No. That's the how, that's not the why. There are no excuses. At the same time, it's important not to fall into the emotional drama of either victim or perpetrator and point fingers, assign blame, assign fault. It's again, as it is said, the human ego loves to play the victim. It loves it. You can see it all around you, and you can see it in your own life. Nobody is free of it. Nobody, unless the person is enlightened. So it is not your fault that you are being bullied, because you are not the cause of bullying. Remember that. Remember this. You are the child of God. If you don't like the word God, you can use of higher power, you can use of divine presence, you can use of divine love. You can use unconditional love, but remember that you are a child of divine love, of unconditional love, of divine presence, of God, of true self, whatever you want to call it. So don't be hard on yourself, don't point fingers. At the same time, you share responsibility for being bullied or for administering bullying to others, for being as the bully, and to resolve all that, to get rid of it. So first, give up all the emotional drama, surrender it to divine presence, to divine love. Give it up. Ask divine love, God, divine presence, true self, for help. As has been revealed very clearly by enlightened people, and as it's obvious, the personal will is not strong enough to overcome challenges like this. It needs a higher power help. Ask for divine help. However it will come to you, that's another matter. But ask for it and then surrender it. Go with it. Now, obviously, if you're wittingly provoking people, you need to stop it, obviously. But a lot of that either provoking or a lot of that why can be in the unconscious or subconscious, or it can be spiritual karmic debt, so that's invisible to the mind, and that needs to be surrendered and dissolved as well. Now, fantastic first-class help in revealing these hidden issues is a healthcare technique called neuro-emotional technique, NET, neuro-emotional technique. It is designed to detect emotional issues that are hidden from the conscious awareness, to bring them to the surface, to resolve the issue behind it, and to release that energy so it is uplifted to the next higher level it can be uplifted to. And that's what helped this life tremendously as well. And now, to find a practitioner for narrow emotional technique, you can go to the website netmindbody.com, netmindbody.com, and in the top right hand corner there is a practitioner finder link, and you can find a doctor that performs the technique. And even traveling long distances, and even if it's relatively expensive, it's very well worth it. At the same time, some people may not have access to it, so the divine helps and can help when it is allowed to. So the trick is not only to ask for divine help and to surrender to it, to relax into it, but also doing all you can within your power to get rid of all negativities that you can within your power out of your life. Now, nobody is expecting you, so to speak, to be perfect right away. It is obvious that everyone is at a certain level of spiritual evolvement, and within that context, the person is able to do certain things and may not be able to do other things that need higher level of understanding. That is given. And as we have been told, God doesn't expect you to be perfect right away. Just keep on doing the best you can without making excuses, without laziness, as you can in the given situation. So, for example, you go to school and you are being bullied. Now you are not consciously aware of any way you may be provoking that consciously, physically, and you may not. So look at your life. What's going in your life? Are you being emotionally hard on yourself? Are you kicking yourself? Are you being self-destructive towards yourself emotionally? Are you wallowing in guilt, shame, anger, or resentment, or any other negative emotions? Because if you're hard on yourself, then you are basically putting a sign, "Kick me," on your back. You are doing that. Whether others will kick you or not, that depends on their level of spiritual evolvement, but you are doing that to yourself. It is self-destructive. So first, let go of all this blaming, of all these negative emotions, and of being hard on yourself. And another thing of being hard on oneself is thinking, I deserve it, or I must be deserving it, or I am not worthy of friendship, I'm not worthy of love, I'm not worthy of God, I'm not worthy of something positive, something nice happening to me. This is so widespread, this kind of attitude. Remember, as has been said, you are the child of God, of divine love. It is your essence, and it is you actually. Now, whether you admit it or not, whether you allow it into your life or not, is another matter. Okay, so first, in resolving it, as it is with raging fire, when the fire is raging, you have to remove the fuel from the fire, otherwise good luck putting it out. You can't. So what is the fuel of the fire of bullying, of being bullied? Again, it is unresolved issues from the past. Something going on, either consciously, subconsciously, or unconsciously in the present, including being hard on yourself. All that needs to be let go of. The divine can help. Neuro-emotional technique can be of immense help. Reading positive spiritual books like by Dr. Deepak Chopra, Dr. Wayne Dyer, by Osho, by Dr. David Hawkins, talks and books by J. Krishnamurti, spiritual talks on this YouTube channel, and so on. Smile into yourself, even if you have to fake it first. Keep on smiling into yourself as much as you can, and imagine the smile emanating from you. At first it may come as a fake, but eventually it will catch on, and it will become more and more true, because it is your true essence, your true state of being. So willingness to surrender, getting rid of all the fuel, which is again being hard on yourself, getting rid of toxins. If you're engaged in toxins, coffee, alcohol, smoking, junk food, soft drinks, negative entertainment, this is not to be underestimated. Even if you're as a kid and you're playing computer games such as shooting, hunting, killing, and other adventure, dramatic stuff, stop it. It's all negative. It all beats you up. You may not see it consciously, but it's beating you up. It is again putting a sign on you saying, kick me. The recommendation is stop it right away. It is not needed. Pray for divine guidance and divine help, in whatever name you prefer it. Allah, True Self, Divine Presence, Higher Power, Divine Love, God. Pray for help and surrender to it. Now, even when all the fuel to put out the fire is removed, the fire, the glowing ember still might go on because of inertia, which is to say that the bullies, even though the how and why have been removed, the bullies, out of inertia, out of being stuck in a rut, may still want to continue the bullying. So changing environment, or taking martial arts classes or boxing classes may be helpful and necessary, with the intention of justified protection, not revenge. Not revenge. And here is another trap. If, as the so-called victim or on the receiving end of the bullying, if you are thinking about revenge, how to revenge it, what you would do to your attackers, how you would get even with them, stop it. This is as self-destructive, maybe even more, than being down on yourself, because it creates an energy within you that is destructive. It attracts to you destructiveness. What you project, even if it's just inside of your mind, is what's like a magnet attracts to you things from around you. So be careful. Thinking about revenge is very, very destructive and very self-defeating. Forgive, let go of it. Eventually, when you evolve spiritually high enough, you will realize that there is no victim, there is no perpetrator, there is no fault, there is no blame, there is no cause. It was experienced because it was the spiritual feedback of your choices, whether physical choices or beliefs or whatever, and it was as a learning tool for you to learn from it and drop it, get out of it. Now, if you don't learn from it, and if you repeat it, and you can repeat it by thinking about revenge, by being down on yourself, by beating yourself up, or thinking that you are not worthy. So if you repeat it, you can fall into the cycle again. Next lifetime, next incarnation, and then next lifetime. And it can go on like that forever. So the best is to stop it right now. And if you were as a bully, or if you are as a bully right now, it is similar in the sense that you are projecting violence, and because you are projecting and contributing to creation of violence, of unloving actions, you are attracting into yourself like energies and like actions. You are setting up yourself for either future bullying, that you will be bullied in the future, or accidents or health issues. You are attracting negative energies to yourself in the invisible, where your mind cannot see. It's not worth it. It's keeping you spiritually stuck. It is cutting you off from divinity, from God. It is not worth it. And again, if you've done it in the past, don't beat yourself up because of it. Forgive yourself. As Dr. David Hawkins said, have a deep, honest, sincere regret and drop it. And here is one thing to be aware of. There are negative energies, whether acting directly as the person being bullied or indirectly through the person that is being bullied, that are trying to trip others to make them violent, even when it means their own suffering, So yes, a kid can entice, can provoke, even unconsciously or subconsciously, violence towards herself or himself in order to trap you or others into violence. Be careful with it. Just because somebody is maybe even as a cute child doesn't mean anything. Be careful with it. That's why forgiveness and being centered in love, in goodwill, in kindness is so important. There is so much we cannot see with the 5 physical senses, that there is so much that goes on, and one can easily get trapped in this world. So even as a bully, be careful, you're setting up yourself for some deep shit in the future. So drop it and do your best to resolve it. As mentioned, neuro-emotional technique helps. netmindbody.com website and practitioner finder. Praying to the divine for help and dropping it, stopping it. When it comes to you, you come into the presence of somebody and you start feeling angry. That can be as an imbalance in you. Well, actually, it is an imbalance in you. At the same time, it is definitely an imbalance emanating from the person that is in whose presence you are, and when you are getting angry. So again, be aware of it, just observe it, breathe deeply, drop it, ignore it, just observe it as a movie. Don't get entangled in it, because if you do, that's a recommendation. If you do, you'll pay for it later. That's absolutely certain, speaking from experience. All right? If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below the video. And this is it. Michael out.